What is happening, guys? Martinez back again. You know where we are, so let's get into it. So, guys, in respect of this fragrance now, as you do know, I recently put up a video of this one, Vibrant Wood, which was a new release from Zara, and this is the 12 hours later video. So you can see a female reaction that was just put up not too long ago prior to this video. And again, guys, this is a genuine reaction. However, which way the lady responds to it, she needs to respond to it in that way. It's not for me to say, do it this way or do it that way. I just spray the fragrance. If they want to smell it however they want to smell it, if they want to give it an interpretation and they don't like the fragrance, that's the whole point of a lady's reaction for me. I'm not going to doctor a lady's reaction. I'm not going to tell them what to say beforehand. Their natural response is all I want. I don't also have the ladies smell the fragrance before. Some of them may have smelled more popular fragrances before, but the whole purpose of that video, guys, is to put it in its rawest format so you get a genuine response. I know a lot of you guys, you've not got the opportunities and the way in which to go and ask different people to smell fragrances, but obviously I'm in the position I am in. So I hope, guys, that helps you out and gives you a genuine reaction video, genuine reaction from a lady in respect of any of these fragrances that I put up there. So, guys, 12 hours on. So this is my take on it now. This is Zara Vibrant Wood. As I say, this is 1999 and this is 120 ml. Interestingly enough, again, some of the old school heads, the old school Zara fragrance guys picked up as well and asked about Zara Y collection, which for those guys that do know, this, in my opinion, 12 hours on, is definitely a take on YSL's La Nuit de l'Homme. And again, for me, the opening is definitely YSL, La Nuit de l'Homme, but without the heavy type of, how could I say, the cardamom's not as heavy. There's iris in there, and also it's supposed to be that we have a tea note in this particular one. For me, the difference between this and La Nuit de l'Homme is that La Nuit de l'Homme's a lot more concentrated. It smells a lot heavier. It lasts a lot longer. It projects a lot more. This smells very light. So you do get maybe a, I don't know, maybe say 40% of La Nuit de l'Homme, and then it breaks down into this sort of tea note, which again, I don't know if it's green tea or a particular type of tea, but get this type of tea vibe from it. The cardamom is there. The cardamom is definitely YSL. I can understand when somebody says, you know, it smells like an old lady. I can understand that. YSL is not necessarily for everyone in respect of La Nuit de l'Homme. It's not for everybody, that fragrance. This one, to me, to break it down, guys, I did get some reactions from it when actually worn this out. I did get a lady who did say she liked it without necessarily me saying anything. I just happened to be wearing it and she was able to smell it. But this is only recently after applying. So it's like anything, guys. It worked for some people. It doesn't necessarily work for everyone. That's just how it goes. So in respect of projection, it doesn't really project beyond an hour is what I would say. The projection from that type of, to say, that YSL type of note will come out, and then it will break down after an hour, probably about 45 minutes on my skin. It'll go down to the sort of tea note, which just leaves it there lingering. Tea note and a bit of a cedar type of base note. It's okay. It's not brand breaking, and it's definitely not something which will really stand out in my opinion. I would struggle to go beyond an hour without reapplying because it's relatively light. Compared to YSL, it doesn't really have, as I say, that staying power that I'd expect from a fragrance, which I think this is saying it's an eau de parfum. It doesn't really seem that way for me, unfortunately. It doesn't really give me much by way of, I'd say, value for money if I was really trying to spend £20 on a fragrance and expecting to last long without reapplying. After an hour, I'd have to reapply, and I was struggling to find any sort of justification beyond the opening notes. There's not really much more it says to me. It just seems to be like a so-so fragrance. So if you're going to really spend £20 on this, guys, personally, I would say get your nose on it first of all. See if you like it. It might work for you on your skin. It might give you more projection. But for me, on my skin, an hour at most before, as I say, I start to get this tea note. And the tea note really would just be, it's quite linear at that point. It's a little bit musky. The cardamom, as I say, dies away, and you just seem to be left with this tea note with this type of cedar in the base. I personally, if you're going to buy a fragrance like this, I would probably advise that you stick with the YSL. Purchase, guys, and pay a little bit more money to get that La Nuit de l'Homme, because for what this is, the bottle's nice. As I say, it looks interesting, but when it comes down to the juice, it's just a so-so fragrance. And I also, guys, I'm going to say, I don't think you should be too hard necessarily on what Zara are doing. It's my choice to buy the fragrance as well. Equally, it's your choice to buy the fragrance. The whole point of these videos is obviously to try and help you guys and save you some money. If you don't like the fragrances, then you don't like the fragrances. If you want projection, then you might have to look elsewhere in other houses. If you want longevity, you might have to look elsewhere in other houses. That's just how it goes. Sometimes with some houses you get some bangers, and sometimes you get ones which are just so. So we do this review, guys, and again I want to say a thank you to those that make the contribution via PayPal, and again that information is down below. And because when you do make that contribution, it helps me put that towards buying these fragrances, and everyone can then share from it. So those guys who have done that recently, a big thank you to you. It's very much appreciated. Now, there was a quick point and a quick question about this. And again, this one came out quite a while ago, actually. I think this was 2017. The note breakdown on this one, again, this is a clone that Zara brought out. This is the Y. I don't know if you can see this. This is the Y from the Y collection. 2017, bergamot in the top notes, lavender, iris. We have some rose, and then I believe in the base is some musk. There might be some pepper note in here. And also some vetiver with a bit of patchouli. Now, interestingly enough, this to me is probably closer to YSL's La Nuit de l'Homme than this one is. This one, again, this is 2017 when this came out. That's when I purchased this one. I've got a lot of juice left in it. Unfortunately, you can't see that. But at the end of the day, I think a lot of the Zara fragrances that came out previously were a lot more heavier. And I think there was a lot more value for money. This one at the time probably only cost about $9.99. This one to me is a lot denser, it's a lot thicker, it's heavier on the cardamom. The base notes seem to be a lot heavier. And to be honest, between the two of them, again, this has a tea note in that, just quite prominent in comparison to this one. This one's slightly more along the line of the YSL. Seems a little bit more reserved. This one seems a little bit lighter and brighter. And believe it, this is an eau de parfum version, where I believe this is an EDT. Yep, EDT. And for what it was though, guys, between the two of them, I personally would go with this one. Now, this is no longer available. There's also Strolling Over Heaven, I believe it's called, which is again a clone of this La Nuit de l'Homme. I don't personally have a bottle of that one right now. I chose not to buy it, but I know it's still available somewhere. I'm sure you can get that still. You might want to get a tester on that, guys, and let me know your thoughts. But for me, between the two of them, if I was to compare it, this is a lot lighter. This one seems to be slightly more for, if you were to imagine like even a cologne version in a way, you could imagine it like that. This one seems to be slightly along the lines of, for EDT, this lasts a lot longer on my skin. This one's a lot denser, a lot heavier, a lot richer. And I feel this is better quality actually, guys, compared to this one. So when it comes to what the idea that Zara are going for, I really don't know. This may be slightly more, I don't know. I don't know if this is mass appealing, because for me, I prefer to have a little bit more, let's say, depth in the fragrance, and I think this one did give it. This one, for some reason, just seems to get, as I say, after the initial spray, I'm left with, as I say, this tea note within probably about 45 minutes, and then moving on from an hour, it disappears. Whereas this one, I could spray this and probably get a good 2 hours without any problems. And again, this is a $9.99 fragrance when I purchased it. So at the end of the day, guys, if you can get your hands on one of these, I'm sure there might be 1 or 2 bottles floating around. If not, try and check out Strolling Over Heaven. But that is it though, guys. 12 hours later, out of 5, I'll probably only give this 2. Is it worth the money? Probably not. But by all means, guys, if you're into these type of fragrances, you just want it for your collection, go and get a sniff on it, and then maybe, you know, purchase it and tally your decision. But that is it though, guys. It just is what it is. I'm not sure why these fragrances have been watered down so much. Just for me, the tea note is what sort of just leaves it a little bit wanting. I don't think it's a bad purchase, but it's definitely not one of the best ones in the collection right about now. And if it came down to it, guys, I have to pick between the two. I'd keep it old school and I'd go with this fragrance, because Zara seemed to understand back in the day a little bit more about, in my opinion, a little bit more about what a fragrance really meant in respect of longevity and projection. And for me, guys, this one's definitely got a little bit more going for it than this one, but that's just the way it goes about now in time. A lot of fragrances get reformulated over time, and a lot of the old school fragrances were a lot heavier compared to what we get a lot now, with this, a lot more metrosexual type of fragrances out there. So that's how it goes, guys, and I'll see you soon on the next video. Do not forget to comment, like, and subscribe. If this has helped and saved you some money, do not forget, again, the PayPal link is down below. I very much appreciate the donations, and I do thank you all for viewing the channel. I also have, I say, an ebook actually I'm trying to produce, which is going to be on the way shortly. As I say, this bachelor lifestyle, there's quite a few rules and things I want to share with some of you guys as well. So by all means, go and check out when it comes up. Ciao.